Okay, so the podcast is a It's so hard. So the podcast is called Public Display of Connection. It's a podcast where I have my favorite people on, and they bring a poem that they like, and then they read it, we discuss it, and then we get into more, maybe deeper conversations and intimacy, and talk about like where we connect and why we connect. And you might be thinking right now, hey, Aubrey, I don't like poetry. I don't get it. It makes me want to vom every time I look at it. And to that I say, maybe you just haven't read enough poems. Maybe you haven't read your poem yet that will really open you up to the idea of new ideas. And in the words of Walt Whitman, be curious, not judgmental. And you know, maybe you'll hear a poem that you connect with and you'll start racing to your local library or bookshop and screaming at the top of your lungs, where the hell is the poetry section? And I'll be waiting there in the next aisle, creepily watching you, saying, hey, I told you so, and I'll be happy for you. In this episode, we sit down with Rick Darge. We're going to talk fleeting joy, psychedelics, pornography, procreation, futility, and a bunch of other good stuff. Come join us for some fun with poetry and pals.
We're good. Okay.
Hi.
Oh, we just start?
Yeah.
Yeah, nice.
Thanks for coming over to my house.
Thanks, Aubrey.
And driving all the way here.
I love your blue wall.
Thank you.
It's really nice.
Thanks. What the frick is your name?
My name is Rick Darge.
Cool.
Do you say frick? Can you cuss on this?
Yeah.
So you could have said fuck.
Yeah.
What the fuck is your name?
What the fuck is your name? Yeah.
My name is Rick fucking Darge.
How are you doing today?
I'm doing good. It's hot.
You are wearing a jacket.
But it's a pretty cool jacket.
It's really cool.
No, it's hot outside. Your place is actually nice and cool.
It will get hotter though under these hot lights.
Yeah, you got to turn off the AC.
Yeah.
So.
Welcome to the pressure cooker, where I have a friend over and boil them alive in my apartment.
And you get to eat hot wings, and you get to keep eating the hotter wings, and you get to keep. That's where we're at in culture.
Yeah.
Let's keep eating the hotter wings, and then you get the milk if you want it. You're too hot, and then you in, and I like that.
I just like to watch somebody suffer. I like to watch a celebrity suffer. That's what.
Yeah. What
it
if
is.
They find out that they were never hot wings? It's just like ketchup.
Okay.
And they're just acting.
I have a theory.
I bet that it's not really, because we can't taste it.
Yeah, the guy who hosts it, I think that he doesn't have spicy wings.
Yeah.
I think that that's what he does. Because there's no way you could be having that all the time.
I believe it.
Yeah.
If one of us are ever on that show, go after his wing.
Yeah.
And then you could...
Exposed.
The whole house of cards will topple.
Do you think you'd ever get on Hot Ones?
I don't know. I don't know what the future holds. I don't know what's going to happen. It's been a weird 3 years, you know? And it's only getting weirder.
Speaking of, dystopian futures, you were reading a poem today about a guy who's kind of known for dystopian future plotting.
Yeah, Brave New World, Aldous Huxley. We were forced to read Brave New World in high school, but I'm glad they forced us. It was a great book.
How did they force you?
Well, it's just
ball gag,
required reading,
waterboarding.
Yeah, I don't think they. I don't know if they still include him in the current curriculum. I don't know. Might be a little too close to home.
It's like Black Mirror, kind of.
It is. It's like you're going to take drugs to be happy and serve the state. It's like the lighter version of 1984. It's a great book.
I've never read it.
It's awesome. And then...
You want to force me to read it?
No, it's a good one. Yeah. And then I read on my own The Doors of Perception, which was a great book about his experiences using psychedelics. And
have you ever used psychedelics?
Oh, yeah.
Cool, man. I've used psychedelics with you.
I'm a big advocate in psychedelics.
Yeah.
I think they're great. I'm sure there are people that abuse them, but you can't really abuse psychedelics. I mean, you can abuse anything, but like, for me, it's like, you do them once in a pale blue moon.
Yeah. Well, there's some people that like definitely like melt their brains with acid.
Yeah. They're extremists though.
Yeah. Not
or
like us. We're just like
they
cool.
were dosed, you know.
Yeah.
Didn't want to do it.
Oh my gosh, somebody recently told me they had a friend that was house sitting at someone's house and they, shocking, at someone's house, and they ate a mushroom chocolate bar that was in the fridge because it wasn't labeled, and they had never done any drug ever in their life before.
Wow.
And they had a whole chocolate bar
Really?
of mushrooms.
They're just
and they
eating
like
chocolate?
ended up in a psych ward and was like had no idea what happened. And they thought that they were losing their mind.
Wow.
Yeah.
Don't eat random candy in someone's.
Well, I think they were like, oh, help yourself. And there's just like a chocolate bar in the fridge. And this person was like, I would like some chocolate for me, and didn't think about it.
Huh.
But you got to
I could
label
see
your
that.
drugs.
Yeah. I could see that being a thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, they've drugs are a bit too kid friendly now, like gummies and things like
Yeah.
not where did we go wrong, you know?
I don't know.
Don't make it that easy. Should be a little
Like, put it
You should
inside like a puzzle or a
eat.
Rubik's Cube.
The mushrooms taste like shit. That's part of the experience. You eat them and you're like "Ugh," and then you have fun.
I had like a visceral reaction to that when you did that. I felt it like in my eyebrows and in my like gut, because that's where I feel weed. Or not weed, mushrooms.
Oh, yeah.
It's like it hits me like
Your third
right
eye.
here, and then like
Yeah.
my guts.
Yeah.
They make me a little queasy. But I've had
That's
great
normal.
experiences on them. Speaking of experiences, how did we end up in each other's lives and worlds?
We met through a mutual friend, John Wesselcouch.
Yes.
You guys worked together at
Yes.
a place. I won't say where. Target.
No.
And he, right? That's where we met. I met
Yeah.
you through him.
And you guys were like, we need a girl. We're making these videos. And I think I met you virtually the first time in that
Before
like
pandemic.
that video of like the trash man thing. This is like ways before the
Oh, yeah.
pandemic. That's my first exposure to you, was that video.
Oh, you
of
saw that video.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
I was like, okay, I'm down.
That's
I'm on
right,
board
that's
with what
right.
these guys are doing. They're
Yeah.
funny.
We did a sketch together shortly after that called Bounced.
You are an alcoholic. I could see that.
Oh my God, you're so funny.
Guys, it's time to go.
And the premise was, what if the bouncer kicks, a couple out of a bar, and then like kicks them off the sidewalk, then kicks them down the street, then he's
bouncing.
then he's in their apartment and kicking them, into bed and kicking them into dreamland.
Yeah.
It's only a minute, but you can find it online if you go
Maybe
to
I'll
Spooky
cut
Bonus.
away to it here.
Yeah, it's fun.
Watch the clip.
Here's the clip and go clip. That was really fun.
Wow, great stuff.
We shot that in a bar called the Good Luck Bar,
Oh, R.I.P.
which it's died.
Thanks,
you know.
Quentin Tarantino.
I don't think it had anything to do with it.
Well, thanks anyways,
Yeah.
Quentin Tarantino.
Blame Tarantino for everything.
Well, I mean, why isn't the Vista up and running anymore?
Well, he
him.
bought the theater during the pandemic. He had been trying to buy the theater for 10 years. He wanted that theater. And the owner, which is a family-run business, Lance, said, nope, I'm not selling it to you. This is
Nice.
my theater. And then the pandemic happened. They had to shut down because every business shut down in LA. He was running out of money and he was up against the wall. And also when the pandemic happened, a lot of people made these giant life decisions where they moved out of town or a lot of upheaval. And so he was in a very vulnerable state and he sold it to Tarantino. Tarantino came in, swooped down,
With this bag full of money.
and he said, and now the freaking theater is still not open.
Yeah.
It's been years.
I know. It sucks.
So they're remodeling it. They're gutting it out.
I was actually watching, right before I was like clearing my phone for space.
Yeah.
And I found the video of the film festival.
Oh,
of,
yeah. Abracadabra.
a screening, yeah.
Yeah.
And I was like watching it and I was like, oh,
Yeah.
the good old days.
I know actually why it's taking so long, because they're doing a heavy remodel where underneath the floorboards there is like a basement.
bodies.
Well, there is like a whole like area. So what they're doing is each seat in front of the seat, like on the floor, they're installing like a little trap door. And so the idea is that Tarantino will be able to walk underneath. He'll be able to open the door and then he'd take the foot, remove the sock, and then put the patron's foot on his face so he can get off. And that's what's going on. He's installing little feet doors.
I knew it. We're on to you, sir.
So, hey, man, that's just some people are into butter and other people are into feet.
Butter?
Yeah, put butter.
Tell me about butter.
Put a stick of butter up your ass.
What? Like frozen or?
Of course, and then it melts, and then you put that on your grilled cheese. Can you edit that out?
Nope. Definitely not. So anyways, cool story, Rick.
Thanks.
So I chose to do this podcast specifically with my friends because I like my friends, but also they're all very different and they all have different personalities and things that they're into. And I'm getting more into poetry personally because I think that it has a lot of value and I get a lot out of it spiritually, emotionally, socially. And I liked the idea of, let me just pick my nose real quick.
That's okay. You do like that.
It's
when
an
I'm in my
itch
car,
on the inside.
fully in my brain. Did you know about this?
Wait, what?
This comes off?
So I figured I'd have you guys do all of the hunting for the new poetry for me. So I'm basically like putting y'all to work.
Yes.
Like my little minions saying, go find poems that you like that are shareable because for one, less work for me.
Yeah.
And two,
this is more personal.
I think it's so interesting because it's like getting to know me and getting to via like the people around me. And so it's like really interesting to me to see what people pick and then getting to know my friends better through it. And it's fun. So you picked an Aldous Huxley poem. And as I was like doing research on it, I was like, oh my God, like this, of course, Rick would be picking this guy because it felt very like in that vein of you.
Yeah. I think he died. I'm pretty sure he died while
assing. Yeah.
He was assing.
Assing.
His ass was up.
He was assing.
And his wife was eating his ass. As he took his last breath.
Do you do that?
What?
Is that how
That's
you want to? That's a
different podcast. Look, does this look like a
Stop
condom?
Stop it! You're right.
I saw an ad for a condom on the way over, and it was like, just wrap it up, and it was a banana with a condom on it, and I was like,
romantic.
You're supposed to put a condom on your banana when you eat it? Just show a fucking schlong.
Yeah.
So people know.
Yeah, schlong. Bring back schlong.
The people that are looking at that billboard and being like, you're right, they're going to think that you got to wrap a banana with a condom. Because that's where they're...
I agree.
Edit that part out.
More dicks. More dicks. Rick Darge is calling for the public to see more penises.
That'd be you see a penis with a condom on it, and it says wrap it up, and you're like, you're right, I should.
Do you use condoms? Just kidding. Other podcasts.
You have to practice safe sex, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, kids. So Aldous Huxley.
You don't want kids. Maybe you do.
He was on his deathbed and he asked his wife to give him some acid.
Yeah.
And he went off and he was like an explorer of his brain, and I love that, and that reminded me of you because I feel like you are very like curious and you like to just like go there and brave in the way that you try things.
Brave new world.
Yeah. Oh my God. What? That'll be how I'll match this down. But like it was really cool because I was like, oh, like I've always appreciated that in you because like I also have that. I feel like, excuse me,
fire.
That was a fart.
You fart weird.
I'm like getting the giggles. No, but like I always am a big advocate of like exploration and trying new things and going different places. Like, I feel like drugs are tourism for your brain.
Yeah.
And I've connected with you in that way. It's always interesting.
Yeah. They're powerful. You don't want to explore with meth.
Yes.
You know, you want to be careful.
Or should we? Don't do meth.
Are people microdosing meth?
I don't know if
I
that's
got this
something
new
you can
gummy
do.
company. We started it in Joshua Tree, and it's 10 milligrams of meth. It's just enough for your day, you
I
know?
think that's called like ADHD medicine.
I think it's called Adderall.
Ritalin, yeah.
Yeah, no, we've definitely connected on those levels. And yeah, I feel like I've always been into it. And I think that's what kind of drew me into Aldous Huxley's work. Did you know the band The Doors?
I've heard of them.
They're named after The Doors of Perception, his book. Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Which is all his account with mescaline and his journey into that. But he's such a brilliant scientific mind. It was really breaking new ground when that book came out, because back in those days it wasn't like a widely accepted or known thing.
Yeah.
The use of these compounds. You know, I feel like in the rest of the world, definitely. I mean, they've been using mushrooms, and I mean, mushrooms are very much,
Ayahuasca.
just as a spiritual practice and a ritual, as a way to go inward. But it seems like the Western world is, at least in America, catching up. There's been a lot of advancements recently, and I know there's a current thing on the California bill that is being voted on for like decriminalization of mushrooms, but you know. Yeah, Huxley is he's great. You know, I didn't know that he was a poet, or that he started. And then when you reached out to me about doing this, I have to admit, I'm not a big poem guy. I'm not against poems.
Yeah.
But it's just not something that I've traditionally have gravitated towards. So it was fun when you invited me to figure out like who do I want to focus on.
It's working.
And
My
Huxley
plan is working.
he popped in my mind for some reason, and then I was like, I wonder if he must have. And he wrote quite a bit.
I read some of his stuff last night, and then some of his quotes. I was just like, damn, like microphone drop.
Yeah.
I had them on my phone, but I realized now my phone is recording us, so I can't read them off to you. But
That's okay.
They were good.
Yeah, we need one more phone.
I know. We need. Don't we need more phones? That's really what we need in
Why
society.
not? Oh, I had some weird thing.
You gonna barf?
It's not a barf. It's like where you burp, but not really. It's like a rumble, then it goes back down. I don't know what that is.
I think that you're
Really?
about to have an alien
Yeah.
burst out. I just saw that movie for the first time recently.
Oh, really? It's good. Yeah, Sigourney.
Would you like
Weave.
to read the poem, and then we can discuss it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So this is a poem that is called Waking. Here we go. Should I start?
Go for it.
I don't know how to read.
Oh no.
Here it goes. Darkness had stretched its color, deep blue across the pane. No cloud to make night duller, no moon with its tarnish stain. But only here and there a star, one sharp point of frosty fire, hanging infinitely far, in mockery of our life and death, and all our small desire. Now in this hour of waking, from under brows of stone, a new pale day is breaking, and the deep night is gone. Sordid now, and mean and small, the daylight world is seen again, with only the veils of mist that fall, deaf and muffling over all, to hide its ugliness and pain. But today this dawn of meanness shines in my eyes, as when the new world's brightness and cleanness broke on the first of men, for the light that shows the huddled things of this close pressing earth shines also on your face and brings all its dear beauty back to me in a new miracle of birth. I see you asleep and unpassioned, white-faced in the dusk of your hair, your beauty so fleetingly fashioned that it filled me once with despair. To look on its exquisite transience and think that our love and thought and laughter puff out with the death of our flickering sense, while we pass ever on and away towards some blank hereafter. But now I am happy knowing that swift time is our friend, and that our love's passionate glowing, though it turn ash in the end, in a rose of fire that must blossom its way through temporal stuff, nor else could be more than nothing. Into day the boundless spaces of night contract, and in your opening eyes I see night born in day, in time, eternity. Waking. It's great. Gives me goosebumps.
Yeah?
A little bit. They're where you can't see.
Yeah, I read that last night, and it also gave me goosebumps.
Yeah.
So what about that poem that you just read delights or incites you?
I think, I mean, for me, it's like playing with this duality of like the way in which we view our lives, you know. On one hand, it's commenting to me on like the fact that we all wake, it's like this fresh start to a day, you know, it's like this new birth, a new beginning. It also makes me feel like this sadness in terms of just life goes on, like with or without you. And so we all get to share in like, you know, the miracle of being alive and like waking up in the morning and being on earth. There's a line in there where it feels like it's like, you know, the gods are kind of, they're mocking us in a way. Not in a way, but
the designers of the simulation.
the designers, yeah.
And they restart it every day.
The neckbeards of the simulation, where it's just like, yeah, it's this restart, but it's just, to me, it kind of brings my mind into this idea, the fact that life is seemingly meaningless, but we as humans, like, we give it meaning. We like create our own meaning and value, and we do that, you know, by having a sense of free will throughout our day. But yeah, there's a lot there. I mean, to me, it's sad in the sense that, like, yeah, time is fleeting. It's this thing that can't be controlled, and we're all subject to it. And it's like you want to hold on, but you can't because life's always changing.
Yeah.
And like the waking of the new day is a reminder of that change.
It also like invoked when he's talking about like kind of in the beginning, it's all this stuff kind of about like waking in death, and then the pivot is like this person that he loves.
Yeah.
And that's something that I think about with like romance, where like, okay, like we're starting this, but then I'm going to have to, like, what if you die someday?
Yeah.
And there's that kind of like fear that is invoked because of the like magnitude of your feelings. Where like, I remember the first time that I realized I like loved my partner, I was like, had the thought about like, what if they just got hit by a bus? I was like, oh my God, like, no. And it was like, oh gosh, like my investment in this person, in this relationship is temporary. And it was like a lot to just like chew on, but that's like life in general is always this kind of like moving target. I think Huxley has a quote about that where it's something about like the most stable humans are the dead ones, or something about like predictability or routine, and how like the ones that have like the most, that are doing the best at routine or stability, or the people in the ground. And it's like, ooh, fuck, like
that's true, because like you on one hand, like, you, speaking of romance, you could subdue your feelings potentially because you don't want to get attached, because you have a fear of loss, and then it's like, then you're not fully expressing yourself because well, I don't want to get too attached, and I don't want to. I do this with like career stuff where it's like, and I'm working on it, where you get, in the world of Hollywood, it's like there is so much competition and rejection and comparison and all these other things, to where, if you keep getting knocked down, I've done it sometimes where it's just like you don't want to get too excited about anything, because I do feel like the universe has a way of like disappointing you when you're excited, but also fuck that, because you should get excited about things, and like that's the point of being alive, and we're not meant to just I think Aldous is completely right, because you don't, the people that are the safest and the most stable are dead, and life's meant to heartbreak, and you can't have the ups without the downs, and it's and also bitterness and cynicism, or it's like a slow death anyway. Like you don't want to go through your life with glass is half empty kind of viewpoint.
I've just been feeling that as I feel like I'm hitting a weird age where there's a lot of stuff happening where it's like, okay, like, what are you doing? Are you like...
What's your purpose?
And... you get...
Speaking of age.
Oh, my kneecaps. Okay, like, what do I want my life to look like? I don't want to waste time just sitting around waiting for my life to happen rather than being like... what do I want it to actually feel like and do, and like take the reins of it.
I've been thinking about purpose a lot lately, and like
the Justin Bieber album from 2017.
Justin Biebs. But like, we all have a purpose, and your purpose could change. And some people, it's like their purpose is like raising a family, or being a great mom, or being a great dad, or maybe their purpose is like, just making their neighbor smile. Or maybe it's like simple. Maybe some people's purpose is, taking over the world of commerce and inventing a rocket that looks like a penis, and flying a rocket that looks like a penis and flying into the air, flying into the air on your penis rocket,
Is that what you want to do?
No, I'm saying there are people in this reality that have done that.
Would you do that? If you had the money, would you make a penis rocket?
As long as it was wrapped in a condom. To prevent... I don't want to get that universe pregnant.
Oh my God.
I don't want to...
But also, like, maybe
chlamydia.
Maybe do get the universe pregnant.
Yeah, fucking pregnant the universe.
Yeah, bring it life. Do you want children? Have you thought about that?
Children. No, I don't really think about it. I haven't, my whole life, I haven't really...
I guess you don't really have to as much. For like women, we have that
you got that
time window where it's like, it's approaching. Like I'm about to be 36. And I mean,
you've got
24. I'm 24.
You could freeze your stuff.
But that doesn't always work. And also, like, I don't want to be an old mom, but like I have these two parts of me that are kind of split. Get a gigapet.
A Tamagotchi. Yeah.
Yeah, it's something where I'm like, okay, like if I had like 10 more years, it would be nice to think about, but I don't. But then at the same time, I'm like, do I want that, or am I just having that thought because I'm getting older?
And it's your DNA being like, yo, we need to fucking make some copies of this shit.
But I
what was I gonna say?
A little miniature you would be hilarious.
Running around?
That's it's
basically what it is.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking about. Or like with my partner, I was like, but what if like there was like a little version of you and I that you could be friends with? And they were like, cool.
Our mutual friend John, his daughter Winnie is 4, and it is like this weird mini version of John and Sarah combined, but she's cool. Like you can have a conversation with her and talk to her about her day, and she's like telling you stuff like so and so at school went crazy, and you're like, tell me more. Why did she go crazy? And it's just this weird. I can't imagine having a child just because it's just every day they become more advanced.
Yeah, it's like AI.
Yeah,
they're like, what do you guys do?
Yeah, it's like the Chat GPT, and then there's a point where I don't know what age it is,
where
probably
they start resenting
where you start going downhill in your IQ.
Yeah.
My partner Hillary and I, we've talked about it. We don't plan it. We're both creative types. I'm a bit I'm a bit selfish with my time, and I know, having a kid, I would welcome a kid. You know what I mean? I wouldn't be like adverse.
But you're not seeking it out.
I'm not seeking it out, which I think is the best place to be.
Yeah.
I was conceived. I was an accident, baby.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they weren't planning me. They were like, fuck. My mom was 17. My dad was 21.
Whoa.
And so,
Illegal.
Yeah, I know, Dad. What are you doing? Fucked up. That's New Jersey, baby. Back in the fucking 80s. But yeah, I remember when I was young and I had, girlfriends when I was younger, I broke up with a few of them because I was like, if I accidentally have a kid with this person, do I want to spend my life with this person?
Yeah.
Like, this is bad. And so I just was like, we're done. That was a driving factor because I think there was a fear when I was younger because of my parents of like, it could just happen, And so
that is a weird, like a crazy thing that like I would never want to be out of control of.
Well, that's because women, you're in control. I mean, if you want to,
but like the men don't.
If you want to have the kid, then you can have it, and you better it's.
Let's get more into abortion. Just kidding.
Okay.
No, I'm kidding.
When it comes to that, yeah, you
gotta be careful if you're a dude.
I've just always been a firm believer in you do whatever you want, like for your life. It's your life.
Yeah.
Go ahead. It's weird. There's that's a whole other can of worms.
We don't need that.
It's a fucking can of worms. Hey, I don't give a fuck. Okay, do whatever you want.
An Aldous Huxley thing where he talks about how like the revisiting or the goal of getting old is to revisit childhood.
Yeah.
And I loved that quote because like I've felt that way where it's like you are a child and you're kind of taught to mature up to this level and to be like this, to be an adult, like you're trying to train them to get to this level of like maturity. But then once you hit that level of maturity, there's this kind of like death that happens of your child self where like I've been with like other people doing more exploration of like revisiting that. And that I feel like that is the goal of like once you reach that level of maturity is like now going back to your child self with like excitement and enthusiasm and it is.
Some people have a kid because then it's like the kid reminds them of what they lost.
It's also like simple pleasures of joy and the sense of wonder and like, oh, like look, like a butterfly, and they're like, wow, where normally you're just like, butterfly, whatever. I'd rather get like, tickets to the
fantasy
big
football
game.
At the big game.
But yeah, it is funny. It's like trying to revisit your child self is the goal and to be more,
That's why I like
playful. And
I love comedy for that reason, and laughter comedy specifically because you're always it's always returning to that feeling of being a child. Yeah, kids are great. They're so pure, and they're not. It's sad when you see like a parent out in the world.
Oh, and they're like scolding their kid.
They're like scolding, or they're like, no, that's wrong.
Or they're not appreciating the kid. Yeah.
One time when I was like 5, I took 2 bocce balls because Italian New Jersey family. Bocce ball is like this.
I played bocce.
Stupid. You throw a ball. I didn't even know how the fuck you play. I did take these 2 balls one time and I put them under my shirt so I had big D cups and I was walking around and I got yelled at. Don't do that. I forgot who it was. It wasn't my family. It wasn't my immediate. I think it was my great grandpa.
Yeah.
But they were not happy with my D cup exploration with bocce balls. And then you're like, oh, that's wrong. And then then you go to therapy and you try to figure it out. Where did I go wrong? But it is weird, like, because there has to be a sense of, I feel like I don't have a kid. I'm not a dad, but I imagine
as far as you know.
As far as I know.
Oh my God, what if that happened?
Oh shit. He's like 18. What's up, Dad? I heard a lot about you.
Oh no.
Oh my God.
Sorry, what were you saying?
Edit that part out. I was saying there's got to be if I ever had a kid, you got to show them like a certain map of the world.
Yeah.
You can't like shelter them and pretend that everyone is kind and blah. You've got to be like, well, it's a crazy world out there. Ooh, baby, it's a wild world.
That's
Cat
like
Stevens.
my parents, like they always kind of humbled us. We're like, we'd always be watching like American Idol or something
Yeah.
like that. And they'd see the parents on there that are like,
Yeah.
my baby can do no wrong. And their kid would just be terrible.
They're terrible.
And then everybody's laughing at them. And so I think they had this view of that, of like, you can't be just like unabashedly encouraging of your children or they'll grow up to be
a shit.
idiots.
Yeah.
But then I think they kind of like leaned on that side where also like they were like, you guys are pretty, but like, like to keep us humble.
Yeah.
Where there was just always that kind of like,
Keep you in check.
Yeah, you guys are good, but like,
Yeah.
like, don't get a big head. But
Right.
then you're like, oh, but my parent is the one that's supposed to be just like the one that is like championing me. So it is kind of a weird balance. But I am grateful that I don't have a parent that's like, anything you do or say, baby, is good when we suck.
And then,
But also we don't suck, and we're all very like smart and talented in our own ways. So I guess
If I were a kid, I'd wait till he turned 5, and then I'd drop that fucker off in the heart of Skid Row.
oh my God.
And I'd come back in 24 hours, and if they were still there, and then they passed the test. But if they're not, then it was never meant to be.
Maybe you shouldn't have children.
I heard a director, I forget who it was, talking about when
Quentin Tarantino.
Yeah. It was like when you work with actors, like an actor is doing a scene, there's a tendency if an actor does something wrong, be like, hey, this next take, don't do that. And don't do that. I didn't like that.
Yeah.
But do this. This director doesn't, and there's no negative. Whenever they work with the actor, they just focus on the positive. I really liked it when you did this, and I really liked it when you did that.
Yeah.
And then they walk away. They don't even bring up the negative shit, because what happens is the actor will naturally gravitate towards the things that they liked.
Yeah, it's
and then the
almost like
negative stuff
you're-
goes on the wayside.
It's like you're hyper focusing them in a direction of like where they should
Yeah.
be going.
Yeah, like when you train a dog, because that's what actors are. They're little dogs that you train. Edit that part out.
That's gonna be like the tag.
That's the thing. I'm an actor too, so I can say that. But that's terrible. Actors aren't dogs. They're cattle. That's what Hitchcock said it. He said they're cattle, okay? Someone came out to Hitchcock and said, Mr. Hitchcock, what's my motivation for the scene? And he goes, your motivation is your paycheck, which I loved. But my point being is when you have a puppy and the puppy poops on the carpet, you're supposed to not get angry. You're supposed to take the puppy out, and when the puppy poops outside, you encourage that.
Treats.
You're like, yeah! I would do that with
Yeah.
Maya. She was like, she would always like, but I would get angry sometimes when she pooped. She pooped like right in front of me, looking in my eyes. I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? But yeah, anyways, childhood.
So on the podcast, excuse me, forgive me for coughing.
It's okay. Can't believe
We
you did that.
like to read the poem twice.
Okay.
After discussing it, is there any particular lines that you love in it, or that you were like really just made you want to cream your jeans, metaphorically?
Yeah, there was one in here. Hanging infinitely far.
What?
I told you I can't read. Hanging infinitely far in mockery of our life and death and our small desire. I guess it starts with, but only here and there a star, one sharp point of frosty fire.
One sharp point of frosty fire.
Which is
Can
the
I see it real
sun.
quick?
What made you pick that shirt today? It's a nice shirt. That's why I asked.
Thank you. This is my dad on vacation shirt.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Dad on cocaine on vacation.
Hell yeah.
Hates his kids, hates his wife, hates his job.
But loves the bartender.
But loves the bartender.
And the maid.
And the maid.
The nanny.
And Pornhub.
This line is to look on its exquisite
Why is porn so readily available? Do you ever think about that?
Because people
Anyone could just
like
get
it.
anything they want at any time. That's weird, right? That's weird. That's weird. What's going on?
Rick Darge is anti-porn. He's leading the.
I'm not, but it's something weird. There's something a little weird that it's so available all the time to anyone, to any age group.
So is like food.
No, you have to buy food. You have to go and buy. You can't eat out of the garbage. Porn, you can just whenever you want. You can be waiting in line at the post office, and you could be watching a couple of clappers. It's a little weird. Like,
yeah. What do you think is the solution to
I don't
that?
know. I think like when I was a kid, you had to go talk to Marty, who knew Steve, and Dan had a VHS tape, and that VHS, he had it for that week, and then Steve would get it the next week, and then Marty got it the week after, and then I would get it the week after. And so everyone would trade one VHS tape, and that's how you got it. And you would look at JCPenney catalogs and use your imagination, or because that's how old I am. But now it's like, it's just...
Yeah, I think that there is something to the like
it desensitizes
imagination that like I've noticed that like it almost just like those muscles atrophy a little bit, but at the same time it is something that I think like having available when you would like to have it is nice, and I think it's something that like has been done not great historically, but there's stuff that's being created and being done in like really beautiful artistic ways that
In porn?
where it's like showing health, like not, I don't want to say like healthier stuff, but there's people that are incorporating it into like art and creating content where it's like, you know, the feminine eye is coming into play with that. And also there's like queer porn that's very like it's like teaching people how to communicate and how to be with somebody and giving an example, because I think the examples of like how people learn about sex in our culture is like this, you know, slapping people in the face with
fish,
dicks, you know, even just like the titles, it's like,
banana.
You know, dumb bitch guzzles loads of cum in her whore mouth. It's like, what? Why does it need to be that? Like, because there's so much shame around it, and like, there's a myriad of other reasons. But like,
how would you take that title and rebrand it into something nice and romantic? What you just said.
What did I say? Dumb bitch guzzles cum, gallons of cum, and
in her whore mouth.
I feel like this video is definitely gonna get flagged on YouTube.
How would you say that in the most romantic, kind way? Dumb bitch guzzles gallons of cum in her whore mouth.
I would think beautiful.
Well, but she's also dumb.
But like, why does she need to be dumb?
You said it.
No, but that's what they all are.
Okay.
So you'd say,
simple.
Like, woman is fucked to a state of ecstasy. Woman can't think straight because she's being pleasured so much, and is liberated enough to be receiving her lover's seed, and is not grossed out by it because it's somebody that she cares about.
You gotta look at this video. It's a paragraph long, the title, but it's like that, really respectful.
It's like that Fiona Apple album where it was like, when the pawn hits the conflict, he thinks like a king, and like all
that's
this other
what
stuff. What's
the
your
translation
password?
is. Oh, it's my face. Boom.
Think about like if you took poetry like this and turned, like if you made a porn that was reflective of this energy, like that would be really cool, and it would be something that would be like celebrated and something that you wouldn't feel like you would need to be like,
Gaspar Noé film.
Yeah, like I need to go watch this in the dark because it's like beautiful.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, the slanderer said that it filled me once with despair to look on its exquisite transience, and to think that our love and thought and laughter puff out with the death of our flickering sense. Like,
Yeah.
Whew.
It's deep.
Do you want to read it again?
The whole thing?
Yeah, and then we'll wrap up.
Darkness had stretched its color, deep blue across the pane. No cloud to make night duller, no moon with its tarnished stain, but only here and there a star, one sharp point of frosty fire, hanging infinitely far, in mockery of our life and death, and all our small desire. Now in this hour of waking, from under brows of stone, a new pale day is breaking, and the deep night is gone. Sordid now, and mean and small, the daylight world is seen again, with only the veils of mist that fall, deaf and muffling over all, to hide its ugliness and pain. But today, this dawn of meanness shines in my eyes, as when the new world's brightness and cleanness broke on the first of men. For the light that shows the huddled things of this close pressing earth shines also on your face and brings all its dear beauty back to me in a new miracle of birth. I see you asleep and unpassioned, white-faced in the dusk of your hair, your beauty so fleetingly fashioned that it filled me once with despair. To look on its exquisite transience and think that our love and thought and laughter puff out with the death of our flickering sense, while we pass ever on and away towards some blank hereafter. But now I am happy, knowing that swift time is our friend, and that our love's passionate glowing, though it turn ash in the end, is a rose of fire that must blossom its way through temporal stuff, nor else could be more than a nothing. Into day the boundless spaces of night contract, and in your opening eyes I see night born in day, in time eternity. Wow.
Are you crying?
A little bit.
No.
It's powerful.
Yeah.
It's powerful.
Were you thinking about Hillary when you were reading it?
Yeah, I'm thinking about Hillary and everyone close to me and
Yeah.
how life is fleeting, you know?
Yeah, but it's special.
It's special.
And we're here.
And we're here.
Doing it.
We're
friends.
doing it.
Yeah.
I need to look up some porn right now. Oh, God, it's so
What's
dirty.
your-
In my mind, always.
What's your last thing that you searched in your Pornhub?
I don't look at porn. Stopped that a long time ago once I met Hillary.
Have you guys ever made your own? I'll take that as a yes. He's got all the good camera gear. I know you guys have done.
We're going to put that light over there. We're going to put that lens.
Like an Alexa Mini, nice. You're always the lighting's gonna be great.
It's a whole sketch.
That's my thing with porn. I'm very the lighting is so bad.
Yeah.
I know
It's all
bad
flat.
acting.
Yeah.
I know
They're not
that's
committing.
I know she's not really feeling.
I don't believe
bad.
her.
Yeah, and the sound is bad,
Yeah.
and they always cut the music out right when they start to have sex, and then
Yeah.
it's just I'm I don't.
Yeah.
I want bring the music back.
Oh, it's so gross.
This is for our ASMR fans.
And wait, hold on. Your beauty to fleeting fashion that you feed me once with despair. To look on these. That's a cool voice. Hello. Wait, there's a turtle man, a cartoon.
Mitch McConnell.
Yeah, Mitch McConnell. You see Mitch McConnell where he just blanked out?
Oh yeah, he did that twice. He's like, he's
And
just
they're
melting.
Can you please speak up next time? As if it's their fault.
Yeah, right? Is there anything that you would like to share with people that you want them to know that you're doing or plug? Where can people find you if they want to find you?
If they want to find me, they can find me under a bridge in a van down by the river. No,
I do feel like you would make like in a movie like a very good like under the bridge guy that's like,
Yeah.
must 3 riddles
come
have
into
I?
my
Like,
trench coat. And then
you'd
inside.
fuck with them
yeah.
like the guy in like the Monty
Just
Python. where
dose
he's
them.
like,
Yeah, that'd be me.
You must answer these 3
Yeah.
riddles.
That's my next career move, honestly. I'm going to move to a bridge and I'm going to be a troll. You can find me on Instagram.
Rick Darge.
My name, very simple. There's a website
I'll
with
put
my
it right
name,
here.
myname.com, rickdarge.com.
Yeah. Do you have any projects coming out that are fun?
Right now I'm writing. I don't have anything coming out immediately because
Strike?
I'm striking. I'm not striking.
You're SAG, right?
I'm DGA. I'm not SAG.
Oh, okay.
I'm not SAG. SAG keep wanting me to join, but guys, it's inflation. I don't have $3,000, nor do I want to give it to you. So come after it, okay? Come and get it from my cold, dead hands.
Hey, you'll be predictable and balanced, and in the what was the thing the like the dead person
Oh,
is
yeah.
the most
Yeah.
safe and like scheduled and real quick, you have to say why you're friends with me.
Why am I friends with you?
Yeah.
What do you mean?
Yeah. I said like why you're friends with me.
Why are you friends with me?
What?
Wait, what do you mean? Like, what, the qualities?
Like where you connect to me.
Well, I connect to you on laughter. We connect on laughter. You're a very easygoing person to be around. There's no like weirdness. And I like that in a person because a lot of people take themselves seriously.
Yeah.
Especially in this town. And I hate them. And you have never struck me as that. You are
Not a douchebag and you like that.
You're goofy and you're silly and you can appreciate the finer things in life.
Aw.
And I like you, Aubrey.
Oh, I like
You-
you, Rick.
You're easy to talk to.
Aw.
There's no weird shit, you know?
Yeah, I feel like I always felt like we have like a good time being like
We've always had
rascals
fun,
together
yeah.
and like
We go way back.
yeah.
We've had a lot of
How long have we
rascally
known each
fun.
other? Since like 2017.
2017, yeah, 6
I
years.
can't do math.
Yeah.
6 years. Wow.
Yeah. And you were very instrumental in John and I made a lot of these videos called Spooky Bonus. We don't really make them as much anymore because
you plug the new one coming out.
we have a new one coming out. That is something I'm working on.
Yeah.
John and I made a new video that deals a little bit with the future. It'll probably be out soon. I don't know when this
Cool.
is coming out.
We'll put a link to it.
Put a link to it. But no, you were very we couldn't have done it without you, and you were very helpful when we made a lot of these early works.
Yeah, it
and
was fun. Just a
yeah,
bunch of-
I have very fond memories looking back at those times.
Yeah, even though like there was like a period of time where we were all like ego, and everybody
course.
was just like, no, it's gotta be
No,
my
it's
way.
gotta
Wow.
be this way.
Voice, but then they
Yeah.
are fun videos.
They are.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
No, good time. I feel like I learned a lot from you about filmmaking.
Oh, really?
Yeah, for sure.
yeah.
Just like have like that you can like make stuff with nobody.
Yeah,
and
no
nothing
money,
and, like,
yeah.
Kind of how to like processes and stuff.
yeah, I
so.
think there's a lot of angst around people that are starting out where they, and I had it too, where you're like, I need all these people, and I need,
Yeah.
and all you need is a camera.
Yeah.
You need an iPhone and you're ready to go,
totally.
you know?
I love it. Well, thank you for
Thank you.
embarking. Is that a word? Imparting.
Yeah, imparting.
Your wisdom and your friendship
Oh, yeah,
on me.
definitely.
And,
Thanks for having me on your
I'm
podcast.
Happy to call you my friend.
Oh, me too.
And thank you for sharing the
Ditto.
poem because I really like that poet.
I know.
And I was reading him all last
Yeah.
night and I was like, yes.
Yeah, that was like, that one really resonated with me. And yeah, it's very good. He's
Cool.
great. And go read Brave New World.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I will. So at the end, we do a little hug if you're comfortable with
Yeah.
in touch.
Yes. Do I not seem like I am?
I just like to ask. It's consent. It's a consent thing. Ah! Ah!
Thanks for having me.
You're welcome.
Oh, it's hot as fuck.
I know. What do you want to do? You want to go watch some porn?
Let's do it.
Do you remember when you put that old people porn on? And you, like, had made me and John and Andy watch
It was
it?
an
And we were
assault.
like,